guys? Welcome back to Ivana We Didn't Ask. Classes in session. And today I wanted to talk about something that I learned in undergrad. Also, I wanted to use this pointer. Shout out to Dollar Tree. Ivana, 5th grade Ivana, we made it. We got a pointer for ourselves, so we didn't have to wait for the book fair. Anyway, or for mom to put money in our account. Now, actually, that's just another rant that I'm going to go on, because why, when I try to buy this from my niece's school for her book fair, they said I have to put money in her account. Back in my day, mom just had to give me $5. Mom just had to give me 20. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's not the point. I wanted to talk about something that I learned back in undergrad that has just helped me in my walk of faith, but also that has given me a different perspective of life and a different perspective on, I don't know, maybe just given me a better image of how to deal with things and realize, okay, don't worry. I don't consider myself to be a pretty controlling person. I don't. Ask all my exes, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But, I'm not kidding. But what I'm saying is, if you are a type A person, you'll hate me, okay? I just go with the flow, genuinely. But I go with the flow as long as I know where the flow's going. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what I learned. But we're getting ready to talk about this. So shout out to Professor Jody. She showed me this back in undergrad, like I said. Love you, girl. Still remember what you taught me. And I really wanted to share this with you guys because, I don't know, I feel like I've talked to a lot of people about this. And I hope it's just given them a different perspective as well, and it's helped them. But like I said, Scripture always talks about us not having to worry, to trust the Lord, right? Lean not on your own understanding. But sometimes that's hard. But then when you realize that, I'm really not in control of this, then it really humbles you and it really puts you back in your position. So anyway, let's talk. Okay, so first, we're going to talk about the donut, right? This is Professor Jody. Remember this? This is what you taught me. Probably made that circle smaller than I should have, but that's exactly the point. This circle within is the things that we can control. If you guys can't read, that says control. I can't read it, and I'm the one that wrote that. Okay, and then outside is the things, or the outside of the circle is the things outside of our control, right? And so this kind of gives you the image of the things that you are in control of. For example, let's begin. Let's say I really want to get a job. And, okay, right, so I want to get a job. What is in my control? What's in my control is how early I apply, right? There's one. Actually, we're not going to write on that because that's going to be too small. Things inside of my control, how early I apply, what job I apply to, though. Okay, let's just say I want to get a job, but what job I applied to. And I think that's what people forget when I'm in a drive-through line or I'm in a restaurant and people just forget where they're at and what position they have. I'm sorry, maybe that sounds super rude, but I was a waitress, babe. I was a waitress and I chose to be a waitress, and I knew that I chose that. And why did I choose that? Because I love people, I love talking, and I love food. So yes, did I have a bad day? Absolutely. What was I in control of? My attitude, my tone, my behavior, my decisions. What I wasn't in control of, people's rude attitude, people's behavior, people's tone. In a way, I was also I didn't have the schedule in my control. Actually, in a way I did, but I didn't, in a way. I was in control of it. I put the food order right, but I wasn't in control of if the customer decided to change their mind or they made a mistake or whatever. I wasn't in control of my pay, right? But I was in a way control of my hours. I was in control of the communication that I had with my boss. I was in control of all that. And I don't know. I think, actually, let's go back to the actual scenario. I'm applying for this job, right? Okay, so I choose the job that I want. I can control that, right? And yes, that sometimes is very limited, right? If you don't have the correct qualifications, education, whatever, or like the things that are needed, then of course you can't, apply. But also, why not? Like, apply for something and do something that it's out of your freaking nah, maybe not control. Well, yes, that too. But what is that word? Why can't I think of it? Like, not out of your league, but that you're not qualified for, bro. Like, why not? You might make it. Anyway, so yes, you're responsible for your resume, the place that you work at, what's on your resume and such, right? Now, what's out of your control, technically, you're not promised that job. You really are out of control if you get the job. Why? Because you don't know how that hiring manager is feeling. You don't know if you're just not the right fit. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. But that's out of your control. What's also out of your control, let's say your tire pops. You're driving, you're cruising in your bike, on your car, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I was trying to think of another vehicle. But anyway, your tire pops. That is out of your control. What's in your control? You can call AAA. You can call a towing company. You can call your friend that's probably going to help you. You are in control of learning how to change a tire. You know what I'm saying? Another situation. You are in an argument with your friend, with your spouse, in your relationship. What are you in control of? Well, you're in control of, sorry guys, I received a text. You're in control of your attitude. You're in control of the words that you use. You're in control of your behavior, decisions that you make when all that is going on. What you're not in control of, you're not in control of your spouse's friends, boyfriends, whatever behavior. You're not in control of their attitude. You're not in control of their decisions, right? And I feel like, again, that takes so much pressure off. I feel like this should take so much pressure off of you, because really, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. I'm sorry. I was going to say a joke. Let's say I have just been diagnosed with a disease, right? Been diagnosed with a disease. That's not unless it's AIDS, right? Sorry. But let me shut up. Sometimes that's out of your control. Not the AIDS part, the disease part, the other disease part. That's out of your control, right? Let's say I got diagnosed with cancer, right? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm talking to myself. That is absolutely out of my control. What am I in control of? Well, what kind of medication do I want to take? What kind of attitude do I want to have? And how do I want to continue living my life? Because who knows, right? We're not promised tomorrow. But that's what I'm trying to say. It takes a lot of pressure off of you, because when we are in the midst of trying to control so much, don't get me wrong, this is not to lose accountability and to not take in responsibility. But at the same time, it gives you a different perspective, because it takes away it takes away the pressure off of you, right? When things are not going your way, when people are not acting how they want to act. Yeah, and I think the Lord is always talking to us and telling us, chill out. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. You see it all across Scripture. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. And you see people in Scripture, again, guys, this is for the ones that are saying that the Bible is man-made or whatever. Well, duh, yes, it was written by men. But at the same time, you see how they try to take control of everything and why it always ends up being messed up at the end and not working out. So lean not on your understanding. Like I said, this is something that I'm continuously learning and have learned. Yeah, guys, that's all. That's just a little tip for the day. The donut. It all goes back to the donut.